which I don't understand why people think that everybody wants to hear your music. So an officer's trying to pull you over from that. So why didn't you pull over?
Eric Cantu walks in facing two separate evading cases, both tied to reckless decisions behind the wheel. And even with progress in therapy, the judge zeroes in on one question. Why didn't you stop when it mattered?
All right, so those who are in the box, no talking behind the court reporter. You'll have to move to that end of the box. Just ask the deputy to move you. All right, court is calling 2024 CR 1237 and 2024 CR 1238, State of Texas versus Eric Nathaniel Cantu. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Brian Powers,
defense?
Your Honor.
All right, and counsel, you need to be over there. And for the defense?
Brian Powers, Your Honor.
And are you Eric Cantu?
Sure.
Counsel, have you received all of the discovery in each of these cases and reviewed that discovery with your client?
I believe we have, Judge.
And each cause number, the court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Cantu, did you review the documents entitled Application for Deferred Adjudication or Community Supervision with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it?
Yes.
Did you review the true bill of indictment with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, sir.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment in each of the cause numbers?
We do, Judge.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented in each cause number?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Cantu, did you review the documents entitled Court Admonishments and Defendant's Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions with your attorney?
Yes, sir.
Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, sir.
Did you understand in each cause you're charged with evading arrest, detention with a vehicle? That's a third-degree felony. Range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, sir.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call, and the right to remain silent?
Yes, sir.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights? And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in each of these cause numbers?
Yes, sir.
Did you understand if the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication, if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, in each cause number, the court could sentence you up to 10 years in the prison and up to a $10,000 fine?
Yes, sir.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
I do, Your Honor.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense? Cantu, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter the plea?
No.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, sir.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes.
In each case, the court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Did you review the plea bargain page with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, sir.
All right, in each cause number, according to the plea, there's a $2,000 fine. State recommends deferred adjudication. The cases will run concurrently. State will take in consideration 723-118, 711-738. There's to be restitution in 723-118 and 711-738. There's to be a 2-year driver's license suspension. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, sir.
Defense, is that the plea?
It is, Your Honor.
State, is that the plea?
It is, Your Honor.
Did you review the waiver of appeal paragraph with your attorney?
Yes, sir.
Did you understand it and sign it in both places?
Yes, sir.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, sir.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
I don't believe so, Judge.
Outside the agreement, the state is requesting that your community supervision be for a term of 7 years. There be a TAP evaluation, 200 hours of community service, restitution, no contact with the complainant or Walmart, and there's to be no driving as a condition of probation. Did you understand those were recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, sir.
Then in the cause number ending in 3-7, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
And the cause number ending in 3-8, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
Contest.
State any evidence.
Yes, Your Honor. Speak for the case, state exhibit number 1 with all this attachments.
All right, off the record for a moment. So everyone, excuse me, in the box, everyone, you all need to learn how to whisper. It amazes me that when people are before the court, you can whisper, but you can't whisper when you're not before the court. If you cannot whisper, then you cannot talk while we're on the record. Does everybody understand?
Yes, Judge.
All right, so we're back on the record. Did you review the documents entitled Waiver and Consent to Stipulation of Testimony and Stipulations with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call and the right to remain silent?
Yes.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes.
In each of the cause numbers, the court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments, and the court will review the same. All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. However, the court will defer finding of guilt if you've applied for deferred adjudication. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
We're requesting a PSI, Your Honor.
All right, why?
Your Honor, with regards to the last recommendation for Eric, with regards to the state is asking that he not be able to drive. Currently, he's employed in a position where he delivers, he's delivering food for funds. He has a dependent. We've also have an affidavit from Dr. Punjabi, which we can provide it after the PSI with regards to the doctor's opinions on his progress with therapy, how he's doing, and his ability to get out, be able to drive and be a responsible driver from here on out.
Okay, I don't understand how a PSI is going to tell me whether I should let him drive or not.
We thought having some more background might be able to assist, Judge, with
If
that.
y'all want to give me background, you can.
Well, at this point, Judge, as far as the state is recommending a 2-year driver's license suspension,
Mhm.
we would like to apply for an occupational driver's license so that Eric could continue to work as he has been doing. And so.
I
that's
mean,
it.
well, the occupational license is something that would come at a different setting, not at the PSI, because y'all have agreed to a license suspension.
Correct, Judge. But what I'm saying is afterwards, if the court was allowing Eric to be able to drive for employment purposes, to be able to do that, then we would seek an occupational at that point in time.
All right, so I don't understand. If y'all want a PSI, I will give you one. I just don't understand what different information the court would have that you would want me to have that can't be told to me now.
Well, Your Honor, if that would be the case, then.
I mean, if
basically-
y'all want a PSI, I'll give you one, but I just don't understand what information. State, will you have any objections to defense telling me what information he has? Or do you want a witness here for that? All right, so do you wish to have a PSI or no?
Your Honor, if the court feels it would be a futile gesture in this point, then I'm happy to tell you that, Eric has been extremely active with regards to his therapy, trying to redress the trauma that he suffered for this. Over the last few months, he has been working as a delivery driver, and he's been doing very well at that. I've spoken to the mother of his child who says that he is actively contributing to basically her welfare as well as the welfare of the child. So, I would just ask that the court take that into consideration so that Eric can continue to do what he's doing. If the court feels that there's some other form of monitoring, but we feel that taking away his ability to earn a living the way that he has been, it would be of more detriment than anything else. So we would ask if the court is going to assess any type of monitoring sanctions that they do so, but not at the cost of him being able to drive and earn the living the way that he has been.
All right, let's start with this first. My understanding, he's currently on GPS.
Yes.
All right, state, do you have any objections to the removal of GPS? All right, so GPS is going to be removed. Now, the next thing we need to address is his ability to drive. This is the court's concern. He has 2 evading arrests with the vehicle. 1, an accident occurred. I think a car was damaged. So why should he be driving? Driving, I understand that everybody, if you pass the driver's test, you have a right to, take that license and drive, but it's sort of a privilege. And if you're not abiding by the rules, why should you be allowed to drive?
Understood, Judge. And if I may, as of recently, he actually was pulled over for a turn signal violation. The work that he's been doing with Dr. Punjabi in therapy with regards to his fight or flight mechanisms, to the point of where whenever he saw the red and blue lights, he didn't hesitate. He pulled over, he was compliant. It was a warning, but just to kind of show that the progress that he has been making. We believe that the stuff that he's been doing with the doctor to try to redress these issues, he's doing well with it. And we just ask that he be given the opportunity to show the court that he can do it. And he's very well aware that if he messes up, he's looking at 10 years. And he's here today showing accountability for the actions that he's taken. So we ask the judge that we look at the growth that he has been making. I've provided, I believe, the court with 2 letters from Dr. Punjabi in the past to show the efforts that he's been making. We ask that they take that into consideration, allow him to continue to make a living, do what he's supposed to be doing as a member of society. And we don't believe that this court is ever going to be troubled with Eric again. However, he's under he's understanding of what could happen if he does mess up, but we don't believe that it will come to that.
All right, and what is this theft case about?
That was a shoplifting last year, Walmart, Your Honor.
Okay. Right, state?
Maybe that happened 2 different times. And subsequently, ended up in an accident on the highway that it could have been much worse than offender time. But he did leave the location and happens to be a judge from the tips. He stopped because he got a flat tire. He didn't stop because he's on his own. It's required to disable. So the state's position is that this individual should not be driving at least for a period of 2 years. The Texas driver's license.
All right, is there anything you wish to say?
Yes. When this happened at the time, I was just scared. I was sorry to the person. I never want to go through this ever again in my life.
Well, why did you continue to drive?
Drive.
No. I mean, well, let's backtrack a little bit. Scared of what?
I was just, at the time, just a lot of things were going through. I couldn't help myself, but also there wasn't like a safe place for me to pull over.
No. I mean, according to what I read in the police reports and the stipulations, one is playing loud music, which I don't understand why people think that everybody wants to hear your music. So that is an ordinance violation to be playing music so loud that it's damaging to others' ears, which I've seen people do. So an officer's trying to pull you over from that. So why didn't you pull over?
At the time, I got triggered because the way he came on the side of my door, because there was an accident that happened to me. I went through a lot, like in 2022. I just got triggered by it and I got scared, and I didn't understand why he was doing that. And I just.
All right, and then the other case where you're just outright speeding, they're not trying to pull you over for loud music, you're speeding.
Yes. I don't want to make excuses or anything. I'm sorry. I never want to go through this ever again. I'm not just sitting here doing nothing. I'm trying to get help from it. I'm trying to do better.
No. I understand that you've made progress, right? But I'm trying to figure out in that case where you're speeding and they're trying to pull you over for speeding because you're going very fast. Why didn't you pull over?
Well, I was in a city that I wasn't familiar with, and
It's Universal City,
Okay.
Judge. And it was an unmarked, it was basically a blacked out patrol vehicle that was behind him.
Yeah, but why didn't you pull over?
so I'm just paranoid because I'm always on my phone, not while driving, but when I'm at home, I'm like looking at videos of people impersonating pretty common thing, and I didn't see police on the car. I've never seen like a truck cop, like a F-150 truck cop. I've never seen that. I was in a city I wasn't familiar with, and I'm sorry that this will never happen again.
All right, and why did you commit the theft at Walmart?
At the time, I was just really bad in the head. I was not getting help. I was just.
It was a matter of a few months after after he'd awoken from his coma. This was early, I believe early last year.
All right, so why did you commit a theft at Walmart?
I was just not thinking clearly. It won't happen again. I promise you it won't.
All right, any other questions?
Nor the defense, Your Honor.
All right. This is what the court is going to do. In each cause number, there's a $2,000 fine. It'll be probated. The cause numbers were wind concurrently. Does anyone want to speak towards length of probation?
State's asked.
And we have no objection with that, Your Honor.
All right. 7 years deferred adjudication. There'll be a removal of GPS. There'll be the defensive driving course. Taking consideration cause number 723-118, 711-738. There's to be rest in 723-118 to Tiffany Johnson. That's with the Y. And there's to be restitution in 711-738 to Walmart. There's to be a 2-year driver's license suspension. How old are you?
19.
So how far did you go in school?
I graduated high school actually early when I was 16.
All right, so what are you planning on doing with the rest of your life?
So right now, the therapists, the doctors that I go see, I have a pending scholarship to be a civil rights advocate. So that's what I want to do. I also want to purchase properties and have income coming in through that.
So what are you going to do with your schooling? Are you planning on doing something else with your schooling or no? Like, are you planning on going to college? You're going to
Yes.
trade school? What are you doing?
College.
All right. There's going to be 200 hours of community service restitution. That will be waived if he's enrolled in college. Do you have any children?
Yes,
How many?
1,
Age?
9 months.
All right. So 100 hours will be waived if he's in college, enrolled at least 6 hours. Usually I require 8, but you have a 9-month-old. I'm going to ask for parenting classes. And then once those parenting classes are complete, the other 100 hours will be deemed satisfied. There's to be proof of employment within 45 days. There's to be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. If your drug tested today, what are the results going to be?
You'll be clean, Your Honor.
No. What are the results going to be? Because your attorney is not going to take the test. You will.
Clean.
All right. There's going to be a UA today. By 4 p.m. Yes.
Set up and everything. How we do it stage.
Okay. So there's going to be a UA Wednesday. Before 12 p.m. You're welcome. There's to be regular reporting by Zoom or in person. Regular random UAs. Field visits. One time per month for 4 months. Then at probation's discretion. And there's to be no driving. And I'm not going to say no driving throughout the length of probation, but there's going to be no driving until the court decides to allow you to drive. So your attorney will need to approach on that at a later date. Do you understand?
Yes.
So I'm going to say no driving until further notice. And counsel, if you ever feel that, yes, he needs to start driving, then you need to file a motion to let the state know, and I'll hear a party's argument on it. Probation, is there anything else he needs? Is there anything else you need from the court to be successful?
No.
All right, did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal in each of these cause numbers? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand? All right, we can go off the record. In this court, in order to be successful on probation, communication is key. If you have an issue, let your probation officer know. If you feel as though the probation officer is not addressing that issue, you can always come into court. Do you understand?
Yes.
All right, good luck to you. Just have a seat in probation. We'll go over conditions with you. All right, court is calling 2023 CR 0035, State of Texas versus Steve Terzis Jr. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Brittany Mitchell for the state.
Defense?
Bar for defense, Your Honor.
All right, and are you Mr. Terzis Jr.? All right, your counsel has filed a motion requesting that you be allowed contact with minor children, specifically so that you can reside with your sister and her family. Is that correct?
Yes, Judge, and I can clear that up just a bit. The wording might have been a little awkward on the motion, but he's continued to live with his mother throughout the pendency of this case, and with no problems. He's been on GPS. He's doing well. As far as I understand, he has no violations whatsoever. However, his sister, Desire Terrazas, who I believe is logged on to the court's Zoom.
No, she's not in the,
Okay, we just got an indication from her that she was attempting to log on.
okay.
She has 2 children. I believe one of them is 1-year-old and the other is a 2-year-old boys. And she's having a financial hardship currently, so she needs a place to live, and mother is willing to open up her home to her so she has a place for her and the boys to live. So the request is that he be able to continue to live there with his mother as he has been, and allow, with no objections from the mother, from Desire, allow her to move in and him to have contact. It would be supervised, of course, Your Honor, but that's the request.
Your Honor, we have not spoken to the sister. I can represent to the court that I'm assuming defense is in agreement that the victim in this case is a teenage female. So it's not similar age, Your Honor. However, you know, with the nature of the charge, it's not something that we would agree to. But I can represent to the court that it is not the same age child, the victim.
All right. I do have a letter in here, and I'm assuming, because the person hasn't zoomed in, I do have this unsigned letter from Desiree Terzis saying that she's aware of the charges against her brother. I will be moving back in with my family temporarily, and I do not have any safety concerns about my children. I do believe my children will be safe. So here's the court's issue. I know that the state is saying that the alleged complainant in this case is a teenager, correct?
That's right, Your Honor.
And what age are we talking about?
15.
All right, so we're talking about 15. But I still have concerns because of the nature of the offense. It's an aggravated sexual assault child. And these are children. And sometimes, and I'm not saying that the case that you're here on is true or not. I haven't heard any facts. But I do know that sometimes when people are residing in a house, people get a little bit lax sometimes with their conditions. And if you tell them this person is to have no unsupervised contact, then the next thing you know, somebody is, well, I just need to run to the store real quick. I don't feel like putting children in a car seat. It'll only be a few minutes. And this is as much for your protection as anyone else. So that's the court's concern.
And just briefly, if Your Honor, if I may, to speak to part of that. Initially, when he was first placed on bond, it was no contact completely. So he resided with his grandmother for just a little while. The court was approached on a motion to allow him to live with his parents, with his mother again. And their, I believe his siblings are minor children, and he was in the court, having heard on that motion, did allow him to do so again. As far as I understand, Judge, there's been no problems, no violations, nothing of that
Is
sort.
there a reason he can't live with his grandmother?
I think that was, I believe maybe it was her. This was a tough situation. I can't really speak to the specifics on that, Judge, but I think it was just probably a smoother living
All right,
experience.
you're not under oath. I'm not going to take you under oath, but is there a reason why you can't live with your grandmother?
Yes, ma'am.
And what is the reason?
She wanted more money.
Okay. Well, can't something be worked out where his sister can say where she is, and maybe instead of paying his mother, he can pay the sister or something?
My understanding, Judge, now is that
Or has she already moved?
no, she has not. As far as I know, she has not, Judge. But my understanding is that Steve, just out of an abundance of caution, has stayed in the home, is not wanting to violate any aspect of the court's rulings whatsoever. And so I know that he has some freedom of movement, even while on GPS, but he's trying to be as steady and stable throughout the pendency of this. And so, again, this situation kind of presented itself, not through any fault of his. It seems like it's just something that Desire herself needs in order to, I guess, at this point, I mean, I'm getting into speculation here, but to get back on her feet, to be solvent again enough to be able to have a place of her own.
All right. Well, I can tell you all that she hasn't zoomed in. These are the answers I need to questions. One, I need to know how many bedrooms are in that home
Yes, ma'am.
by whoever it is. Two, I need to know where everybody's going to be sleeping. And Mr. Terzis, I'm not saying that you would do anything to, I guess, your nephews, but I still need some insurances as far as people understanding my ruling if I were to allow you to stay there. And one of the things, I need to know how many bedrooms there are, who's going to be sleeping where.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. And I'll see if I can get her on, Jack. I thought she was
Sure.
logging on when we got called up. That's why I came up to the court.
Okay.
And Your Honor, I just want to correct something. The victim she's about to turn 15. At the time of the offense, she was 13, which is why it's aggravated.
All right.
Thank you.
Can you hear me? I'm sorry.
Yes, I can hear you. All
Okay,
right.
got it.
We're back on the record in 2023 CR 0035, State of Texas versus Steve Terzis. Defense, would you like to call Miss Desire to Terzis?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, can you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
All right, you can lower your hand if you'll state your name for the record.
Desired Terrazas?
All right, defense.
Hi,
Oh,
Desire.
I'm sorry, 1 second. Any objections to the witness appearing by video state?
No.
Defense?
No, ma'am.
Mr. Terzis, any objection to the witness appearing by video?
No, ma'am.
All right, defense, you may proceed.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Hi, Desire. Just want to make sure that we're clear on this motion. What we're here for is there was a request that you be allowed to move in to your mother's house with your children. Although Steve does reside at that address, is that right?
Yes.
And could you tell the court how many children you have
I have 2 children.
and what are their ages?
I have a boy who is 1 year old and the other one is 8 months.
8 months, okay. And you've sent us, our office, a statement stating that you have no concerns about Steve being around your children, is that right?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. And I know the court has expressed some concerns, and I want to explain this to you, that that there's always safety measures that are in place to make sure that there's no problems, no issues with the safety of your children. Will they be supervised at all times when it comes to being around Steve?
Yes, they will be.
Okay. And you know what the nature of the charges are that he's currently facing, right?
Yes, I do.
Okay. And just to make it clear to the court, what do you know about the charges? What they are?
I know what he's being charged for. Like that's as far as
You don't
I
have
don't
the exact legal name of it, but what do you know it to be?
he's not allowed to be around children under a certain age.
And are you aware that this is a sex-based allegation?
Yes, I do.
Okay. And it has to do with the allegation has to do with someone who is underage. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. And knowing all of those things, are you still telling the court that you have no concerns and that you would like to be able to reside with your children in the same household as Steve Terzis?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay. And to my understanding, and correct me if I'm wrong, the house, your mother's house, has 3 bedrooms. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. And Steve resides actually in a room detached from the house. Is that right?
Yes, it's an outhouse in the front of the house and it's totally separate from the main house.
Okay. And should you move into the house, where will you be staying?
In the main house, all the way in the last room.
Okay, very good. I think Judge at this point would pass the witness.
All right, any questions?
Just briefly, where will the children be during the day? Are they going to be
The-
home?
No, yes, they're gonna be with me, but my son, I'm waiting to get them into a it's a early education center.
Okay. Do you know when that may happen?
It's gonna happen in about 2 months.
No further questions.
All right, so are you telling the court that your brother, he doesn't actually live inside the home?
Yes,
All right, this detached, is it a detached room that he lives in?
yes, it's a little house in the front.
And this house that's in the front, does it have plumbing, its own bathroom, or no?
No, it doesn't.
So is it just a room?
It's just a room. Yes.
All right, you understand if the court were to allow this, that your brother is not allowed to be around your children unsupervised?
Yes, ma'am.
And are you able to do that?
Yes, ma'am, I am.
Are you employed?
I am.
What are your hours?
I work the night shift, so I'm working from 5:30 to 2 a.m., but my parents are here as well. They would be there in the afternoon. So those are the ones who are going to help me out.
Okay, so 5:30 to 2 a.m. And what
Yes, ma'am.
days of the week are this?
Monday through Friday.
And at the home, who would all be living there? So it would be you, your two children. Who else is in the home?
My mom, my dad, and my little brother. And that'll be it.
And your little brother, how old is he?
He is 7.
All right, any other questions?
No, Your Honor.
No.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, State, do you have any objections?
Your Honor, given that he lives in a separate home other than shared facilities, and if contact will be supervised, then I do not have an objection.
All right, so Ms. Terzis, based
Yeah.
upon state's input and your testimony to the court and the defense's input, I will allow him to reside at the current location with the understanding that he actually lives in a detached room that's detached from the home, and he's not to have any unsupervised contact with minors. So what that means, I understand it's a family. People are probably cooking dinner. He comes in to have dinner, breakfast, or use the facilities, but he is not to do that if there are children in the home and they are unsupervised.
Understood, Your Honor.
All right, so
Yes.
Mr. Terzis, do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, is there anything else?
Nothing in defense, Your Honor.
Okay. And I'm going to add, just so everybody is clear, defendant is to reside in the detached, I'll call it a detached home, even though I know it's just a room. He's to reside in the detached home, and there's to be no unsupervised contact with minors. Is there anything else that needs to be added?
No, ma'am, I don't think so.
All right, thank you. I'll fill this out, and if you want to get a copy, you'll be able to get a copy.
Very well, Judge. Thank you
Thank
for your
you.
time, Judge.
You're
Thank you.
welcome.
Once the sister testifies, the court draws a hard line he can stay, but only under very specific rules. Separate living space, no unsupervised contact, and no room for confusion. Because one mistake here changes everything.
Court is calling 2021 CR 8728B, State of Texas versus Britney Marie Brewbaker. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Jason Garrett, hand, Your Honor.
Defense?
Meredith Chacon for Ms. Brewbaker, Your Honor.
Are you Britney Brewbaker?
Yes, ma'am.
Showing you what's entitled Motion to Revoke Community Supervision. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you the same Britney Marie Brewbaker who was placed on community supervision in 2021 CR 8728B for the offense of possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 1 gram to 4 grams on February 23rd, 2022 for a term of 6 years? Is that you?
Yes, ma'am.
State?
Yes, Your Honor. Violated condition number 4 in Bear County, Texas. The defendant Britney Marie Brewbaker did in there fail to report to the supervision officer as directed for the months of March 2023 in violation condition number 4.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
Waive the remaining violated conditions.
Any objections?
No, Your Honor.
Did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 4, the court could find it true, grant the motion, sentence you to 6 years in prison and up to $1,000 fine? Did you understand?
Yes.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 4? Court will find violation of condition number 4 true. Is there an agreement?
Yes, there is, Your Honor. It is to deny the motion and continue with her on her deferred.
She's on regular.
Probation, Your Honor, and have her attend the state contracted ISF cognitive track, remain in custody until treatment bed is available. In addition, transfer the probationer to ISP and complete the anticipated outpatient treatment.
All right, is that the agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, can you raise your right hand for me? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God? All right. So I see here that you've been here before for not following the court's conditions of probation. So why are you not reporting?
I just messed up.
No, I mean, there has to be a reason. You know, you're looking at 6 years in prison. When you have a contract, when you're on probation, the contract is not between your attorney and the state. I don't have to follow their agreement. The contract is with the court. So why are you not reporting? Would you like to go to prison?
No.
Then why are you behaving as though you want to go to prison? Because last time you were here, and I didn't hear the motion of Judge Her heard the motion, there was a violation of condition number 2 and number 14 that you pled true to. And the conditions were alternate amended for SATIF, followed by aftercare, weekly UAs for 2 months. And there's to be CPS compliance. So why are you not doing what you need to do?
I went to go take a drug test on the day I got out, January 18th. And they didn't submit it till the 19th. So I was getting more consequences for them not submitting it to the 19th.
So what is the March? You're not reporting in March. What does that have to do with them not submitting things?
I just got discouraged.
Any questions?
No, Judge, I did have a conversation with my client about that being a poor choice and that she needed to own up to it and that the cognitive track they were offering her might help her with better decision making.
And what is happening with the CPS case?
It got closed.
So were her rights terminated or
No, Your Honor, her son lives with her dad, which is where she was living.
probation? So is this a good fit ISF? And did she ever complete SATA?
She did 119 days in SATA. The aftercare is where it kind of went awry. What Mr. Garahan stated, that is what the recommendation is from the probation department.
Okay. All right, I'm going to give you a choice. Sometimes I can give people choices, sometimes I cannot. I will grant the motion and sentence you to 2 years in the prison, or I will follow the recommendation that's been tendered. Which would you prefer?
The 2.
You want to speak to your attorney about that or no?
Yeah. That's what I said.
Okay. All right, I'll deny the motion. Alternate amend conditions to include state ISF cognitive, followed by ISP. Probation, is there anything else she needs?
I would say after she is released from state ISF, to complete the intensive outpatient treatment,
All right.
maybe weekly reporting for a month.
All right, that'll be followed by intensive outpatient treatment with probation. And instead of weekly reporting, we'll just do the UA hotline until further notice.
That's fine.
Is there anything else that you need from the court? All right, in this court, communication is key. If there's an issue and you feel as though probation is not addressing it, you can always come back to the court. I'm here. You understand? Now, is there anything else you need to be successful? All right, do not come back here for not reporting again. You understand? All right, good luck to you.
Thank you.
All right, so Mr. Manjares or Manjares. All right, thank you. I'm working on my pronunciations. So we have an issue, and the issue is with drug use. So they're requesting a residential treatment. Yes or no? You understand?
Residential trimming, can you explain me a little bit more about it?
That means that you will receive treatment inpatient, and hopefully that will help you with any drug issues you may be having, because it appears that you won't stop using marijuana.
I already stopped using marijuana.
All right. If you're drug tested today, what are the results going to be?
Positive, but not for marijuana. Well, but anyways, it's a drug.
No, because the problem is, and I understand people say marijuana stay in your system, but this marijuana has been in your system since February 2022. It should be gone by now.
Yeah, it should.
So why, and you were positive in March for marijuana of this year. And in May of this year, you're positive for marijuana. From March to May, there should not be marijuana in your system.
I went to a rehab treatment, and I just get out of there like a month ago.
Ah, so you've been in inpatient treatment.
Yes, Your Honor.
You should have led with that.
Oh, I'm sorry for
No problem. Let me see. That's what you need to lead with. Judge, I've been to inpatient treatment.
Your Honor, this has been, it's been a while since the supplemental report was submitted.
Okay.
And so, the update, but we didn't have the compliance hearing because he was in that residential facility. So, from my understanding, he was in the facility for a little over a month.
All right. So when's the last time you used marijuana or anything illegal?
Last week I relapsed.
See, that, I mean.
Yeah.
So it appears that it did not work. And do you need an interpreter? Because I see written on here.
No, I got it.
All right, so we need to figure out what to do with you, because you won't stop using marijuana. And I realize people say marijuana is not a big to do, but in Texas, it's a big to do because it's illegal.
Yeah.
And you just won't stop using marijuana. That's a problem.
But what I want to say is that since I get out of rehab, I stopped smoking marijuana.
But no, you just told me you relapsed recently.
Yeah, but something else.
See, yeah, I mean, that's a problem.
Yeah.
Did you start using?
Man. I just wanted to let you know, but I'm trying my hardest to.
I know, and we're going to try to work with you, but obviously you have a problem because you're looking at 10 years in prison.
Yes.
And you can't give up marijuana.
Well,
Understand.
marijuana for sure, I really leave it alone.
But here's the thing, you go from marijuana to now it's meth and it's something else.
Yeah.
So why are you using?
Pues, I know it's not an excuse, but when I was in rehab, my dad passed away. Just me being in rehab, and he was outside, I wasn't able to see him.
Mhm.
And then coming outside.
Oh, you could have seen him. People come to court all the time and say, Judge, this is what's happened in my life. Can I go see my relative? And I say, sure.
Yeah, they let me go 2 days to go see him and say bye to him. They thought that I was not gonna come back to rehab because of the situation. Pero I made it back, and pero the problem is now that I'm outside, things are not being easy for me. Since he's not here, I know it's no excuse. I know I'm a grown-up man, pero my mom and my family is the one that if I still want to be clean and I want to be a better, they still look at me and treat me like I'm a drug addict, you know, and that breaks me down really bad all the time. My mom telling me that my dad is dead because of me and stuff like that. It only caused me to sometimes I prefer just to be in jail.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, this is what I can tell you. People who have addictions, and this is from me, during research, this is from me being involved in treatment courts. This is from me watching documentaries. When people have addictions, you will always have that addiction, right?
Yes.
But it's just a matter of, are you going to bend to temptation? Because every day is a day for you not to use. Every day is a day for you to wake up and say, I won't use today. From my understanding, nobody is supposed to say, I'm not going to use for 2 weeks or 10 years. Nope, it's supposed to be every day. That's supposed to be your mantra,
Yeah.
because you can easily fall off the wagon. Something bad happens, and instead of pulling out the tools in your toolbox to stop you from using, you break down and use.
Yes.
So are you able to go back to inpatient at the previous treatment facility?
Well, I just get fired of my job last week. Well, this past Monday. Right now I don't have any insurance, medical insurance.
Mhm.
So I'm working on having a job for tomorrow. And then if I'm able to get medical insurance, I might be able to go back to rehab if that what you want.
All right, so this is what we're going to do. In probation, I say this is what we're going to do, but let me know if this seems like a good idea to you. Put him on intensive outpatient treatment and put him on the UA hotline. And if his levels increase, then we're going to have to file a motion to revoke. What are your thoughts?
Do you feel like you need residential treatment more than outpatient treatment, or?
To be honest, it's up to you guys. I mean, I really want to stop doing this, but the thing is, the family, I mean, is still treating me like no matter what I do, no matter how hard I try, they still fucking kicking me in the ass all the time.
No, the thing is, what I was looking at, he was saying that he may be employed next week, and then he'll be able to do it through his insurance. So when are you expecting this employment to happen?
What, this week already?
All right. So that's why I'm thinking about doing the intensive.
Your Honor, if it's okay, we go ahead and modify the conditions for the intensive outpatient and the UA hotline.
Mhm.
I would like to get an update from the CSO in regards to his employment status by the end of next week, and then maybe if the employment status is still unemployed, possibly status.
Okay. All right. So that's what we're going to do. You understand? So it's very important that you remain clean and do the 90 sober meetings in 90 days. You need to do sober meetings every day, because you will meet people who have the same struggles that you have. And I'm going to tell you something that I would always tell my clients. And this is what you have to realize. When you have addictions, I'm sure that you were dishonest with your parents. You didn't tell them, hey, I'll be back in a little bit. I'm going to go smoke some marijuana. I'm going to do drugs. You told them stories that were not true. And so right now, your level of trust with your mom or your level of trust with your family is probably less than zero. And you can't expect to, I'm on this new path, I'm clean and sober now, so everybody just know I'm clean and sober and forget about everything that's happened in the past. That's not the way life works. So you have to build up their trust. And continuing to use is not building up their trust, and it's not building up your trust with the court. You understand?
Okay.
All right, so let's do that.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Court is calling 2018 CR 12683. Off the record for a moment. And Norma, Cornelius has another case on the docket. Court is calling 2018 CR 12683, State of Texas versus Valerie and Ramos. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Hank Wilkins for the state, Your Honor.
Defense.
Good morning, Your Honor. I'm Todd McCray for Valerie Ramos.
And are you Valerie Ramos? Showing you what's entitled Motion to Enter Adjudication of Guilt and Revoke Community Supervision, and state's motion to supplement pending motion to enter adjudication of guilt and revoke probation. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes.
Are you the same Valerie Ann Ramos who was placed on deferred adjudication in 2018 CR 12683 for the offense of possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 1 to 4 grams on July 18, 2019 for a term of 4 years? Is that you?
Yes.
State?
Violated condition number 5 in Bexar County, Texas. The defendant Valerie Ann Ramos did then and there fail to report to the supervision officer as directed for the months of November and December of 2022, January, February, March, April, May, and June of 2023 in violation of condition number 5.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
And Your Honor, we waived and abandoned the other violations alleged in the motions.
Any objections?
No, Your Honor.
Did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 5, the court could find it true, grant the motion, find you guilty, sentence you up to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine?
Yes.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 5? Court will find violation of condition number 5 true. Is there an agreement?
Your Honor, there's an agreement in part. We've conferred with the defense and state have conferred, and we want to agree to extend her for 2 years, complete the jail tap, and follow the recommendations, which is the probation recommendation with the 0 tolerance regarding reporting. We disagree about the 60-day jail sanction. We are asking the court to follow probation's recommendation for the 60-day jail sanction. But I believe defense would like to be heard on the judge.
All right, yes.
Judge, on behalf of Ms. Ramos, she fell into some very difficult circumstances, which I believe she reported to probation that she didn't have a phone and she had lost her housing and she was living in a car and she had no electricity. She tells me that she also had a stroke in May of this year, and so she was hospitalized. She's not experiencing any mental symptoms or physical symptoms, and she says that she's okay now. She does have a place to go, so she won't be homeless anymore. She would like to live with her daughter, Alexandra. She says Alexandra didn't have a place to stay during the period that I'm describing, and that's why she was living in the car during that period of time. She did complete the IOP treatment with the Bexar County BCC SCD on December the 10th of 21. I found her to be very cognizant of her responsibilities to the court. She is agreeing to an extension of the term, although that term technically expired in early in July of this year. She's been in custody, Judge, about 30. She was arrested on July the 2nd of this year. So she's been in custody about a little less than 30 days. And we just wanted you to consider that in terms of if there needs to be an additional sanction if the court follows the agreement and extends her probation. That's our plea to the court. She's 42 years old. And I think she does want to satisfactorily complete this. And I think given the changing circumstances, she tells me she feels like she would be able to do that successfully if the court would extend her.
All right. So can you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth? So help you God.
Yes, I do.
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Valerie Ramos,
All right. Your daughter, how old is she?
23.
Does she have children?
Yes, she does.
What are their ages?
8, 5, 3, and 5 months.
And so I'm assuming she's on housing.
No. She has a
So
house.
why didn't she have a house before?
They were fixing it.
Who is
remodeling. My daughter and her husband were fixing the house. So.
All right, so where is she staying now? She's staying in a home or an apartment?
And she's living in that house, 2, 3, 4 when I'm at home.
When's the last time you used drugs?
It's been a while before my stroke.
All right. What I can tell you is I'll extend you, but I'm going to extend you for 3 years. I'll do The TAP evaluation will be while in custody. It's going to be following whatever recommendations TAP evaluation is recommending. Or if you would like, I'll revoke you and sentence you to 2 years. Which would you prefer?
The extension.
All right, I'll deny the motion. Alternate amend conditions, extend her for 3 years. There's to be a TAP evaluation while in custody. She's to follow all recommendations of TAP. If TAP says inpatient treatment, then you're going into inpatient treatment. There's to be no unsupervised contact with minors. So that means you are not allowed to be their babysitter or any of that. Do you understand?
Yes.
Probation, is there anything else?
You understand, Ms. Ramos?
Anything else from either side?
No, you're.
All right, we're off the record from here on out. Everything that you do, you need to ask yourself 2 questions. 1, is this something that could result in me potentially going to prison for 10 years? If the answer is yes, do not do it. If the answer is maybe, do not do it. And number 1, you need to report. The fact that you were living in your car, there is no excuse for not reporting, because you could have driven that car to the probation office. And if you were living in your car, I know you didn't go without food for that entire time. You could have asked somebody, could I use your cell phone? I need to call my probation officer. But again, all you had to do was drive to probation. It's here in Bear County, and they would have taken you. You understand?
Yes.
All right. And there's no gang affiliation with her, is there?
No.
All right. What's up with the Batman tattoo?
I like Batman.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you. You know, people always tell me with Batman, is he really a superhero because he has no superpowers?
Judge, he's out there trying to do right, and he's just relying upon his humanity to do that.
You know, there's a where all of them are sitting down at the Justice League trying to figure out who should be in charge of things. So Superman is there, and he was telling Batman, yeah, you shouldn't lead. And then Batman is telling him, hey, kryptonite, that's your weakness. And he's like, not many people have kryptonite. He's like, kryptonite is all over the place. And then with Green Lantern, he's like, yellow.
Did they put Batman in charge?
Yeah, they ended up doing that. But, well, no, they left it up to debate. The reason why they said, because he went through everybody at the table. But when they got to Wonder Woman, he didn't have anything. They're like, she doesn't have a weakness.
I like Batman because of the saying. The saying is, why do we fall? So we can learn to get back up.
Ah, well, I like Batman too. I guess that's his superpower.
Getting back
But
up.
Shazam has no weaknesses. But okay. All right. Thank you. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Her defense asks for another chance, pointing to homelessness, a stroke, and time already served. But the judge makes the stakes crystal clear: take the extension with strict treatment conditions, or risk being sent straight to prison.